Hello everyone. I'm going to splice some stuff together. I'm filming this today, Monday, August 1st, 2011. Saturday night, July 30th, 2011. I was out riding my bike about a half hour after sunset Saturday night when a vehicle pulled right in front of me, making an illegal left turn. And I went out earlier today to the scene where it happened, and I described what had happened, so I'm going to go ahead and edit that part in right now, tell you what happened, and then I'll show you the damage to the bike. Alright. Okay, this is where it started. Just past where that red light or green light is, I pulled in to clean a bug gut off my windscreen at a gas station. Came back out. I was traveling this direction. I was in the far left lane where that black car is, and as soon as I stopped for the red light down there, started to come up, got into second gear, and as soon as I shifted to second gear, hold on, don't think you can hear me with that guy going by. So I was shifting into second gear and waiting for loud trucks to go by. Okay, so I was in second gear, and as soon as I shifted, this light turned yellow. So I was just coasting in second gear. Light turned red. It was a short cycle. So about the time I was about right here, so it turned green. I started, make sure none of the cross traffic was running a red light. So I started to accelerate into the intersection. I was in the far left of these three lanes, and the person in that left turn lane, they do not have a separate arrow signal, so they got a green light, the same with both directions, but they did not yield. They just pulled right out. So that's where I got deflected and kind of just right in the middle of the intersections where I landed. The car that was in the middle lane here wound up, they just T-boned each other right in the nose, and they both got thrown right over there where that black Jeep just was, right in the intersection. And 50 feet over there, right there, those white garage doors, that's a fire station. So those guys were there within seconds, making sure that I laid on the ground, didn't move. When the first fireman says, "Oh my God, he's still alive," that's just kind of realization of how big a crash it was. So I was lying right there where that manhole is. I don't know if you could see it for a few minutes, but so that's where it happened. Okay, so that's the scene and where it happened. Basically, what happened at the point of impact was, there I was on my R6. Let's try getting the light a little better. Okay, so pretend this 58 Corvette is a Chevy Blazer. So there was three lanes for me, 1, 2, 3. I was in the far left lane. It's approaching a red light. So I was in second gear, coasting, going pretty slow, looked in the mirror, there's nobody behind me, because everybody wants to get to the intersection as fast as possible, and I'm just, coasting and whatever. Got about maybe 20 or 30 feet away from the intersection, light turned green. I started to slowly accelerate because I was looking right or left, making sure there was no red light runners. There wasn't, so I started to go. In the intersection, I had not upshifted yet, and as I was committed into the intersection, a Chevy Blazer was making an illegal left turn right in front of me. So we're at this point, even though they were at a red light and just started going, and I was coasting in second gear pretty slow, we were just too close. I couldn't even get out the letter O in "oh shit." I just panic braked. I think my 4 fingers were still on the clutch, and so I think I fully squeezed clutch, front and rear brakes, and just before impact, I could feel my rear tire lifting up. And even though it just happened in a split second fraction blink of an eye, it's almost like time stopped, and I thought, well, I can't maneuver. I've never done a nosy, never tried to stunt, but there's no way I can maneuver to avoid on my nose. So I made the conscious decision to let go of the front brake, and as soon as I did, I felt my bike violently whip around, tail still in the air. I thought she hit me at that point, or kind of hit my tail enough to whip me around. Because when I whipped around, I saw nothing but black. I don't think my eyes were closed, because I think at that point, being whipped around, I was being thrown off my bike. I was looking straight up into the nighttime sky. So I remember being whipped around, and it was kind of just like a weird moment in time, like we're just pause, 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 pause. And then my helmet, direct back of my helmet, hit the asphalt. And as soon as I hit, then I heard a big crash over here. And then I started thinking, well, if I wasn't wearing my helmet, I think I would be dead. That's how hard I hit. So, some witnesses immediately came over. One of them was a doctor, and within seconds, I started moving my hands to make sure, okay, check the hands first. And just as I was about to start to check my feet, this guy came running up, and the first words out of his mouth were, "Oh my God, he's alive." So him and I believe 4 or 5 other people who witnessed it all told me that I flipped around and my head hit the asphalt street so hard and so fast that every single one of them thought I was dead on impact. So I was feeling my arms, and so the doctor immediately pinned me down, held my helmet down, saying, "I'm a doctor. Don't move your head. You may have spinal and back injury. Don't move. Don't move. Can you move your hands? Yes. Can you move your feet?" And I was able to move my right foot and leg, but my left was pinned down. The bike had landed on my leg, so I couldn't. I said, "I can't feel anything from my knee down." So him and the other witness says, "Okay, we're going to lift it," and he pulled my leg out. And, "Can you move your toes?" "Yes." "Okay." So, and the amazing part was this happened right in front of a fire department, within about 50 feet. I mean, these guys were here within seconds. The first fireman comes running over and yells back at the other ones, "He's alive." I'm like, okay, this isn't good. I've had 2 people yell this. This must have been pretty severe, more than, from what I could understand from my point of view. So I thought I was lying there thinking my leg's broken, which it wasn't, and I thought my bike was totaled. So after a few minutes going on, so anyhow, the SUV that cut us off hit a car that was behind me in the middle lane. It was an old lady. She had broken ribs, broken sternum, a broken arm. They immediately took her to the hospital. The lady that was at fault, she did stay. She did not run off, so it was not a hit and run that seems to always happen. She was drunk. She had a suspended driver's license from previous DUI, and her insurance was canceled. The company canceled her insurance, and she was awaiting a court date for another DUI. So she immediately failed her roadside sobriety, and they arrested her and put her in the car before the fireman came and helped and lifted the bike up. So the police was asking me what happened. I told them what gear I was in. I told them it was a Chevy S10 Blazer, dark color. Sure enough, it was a Chevy S10 Blazer, dark color. So the firemen were asking, "Hey, your bike looks okay." And it turns out my parents are in town visiting. They just arrived the day before. So I got on my cell phone, called up my mom, said, "Hey, I got hit by a car. I'm down. I'm in front of our favorite Chinese place." So they were 4 miles away. So by this time they showed up, and so the firemen and I are looking at the damage, and I would have sworn just that the SUV hit my whole front area, because it just felt like I said, my rear tire was in the air starting to lift off, and as soon as I let go of the front brake, wham, this whole area just whipped around 180 degrees, and that's what threw me off backwards, spine and back of the head to the asphalt first. So they helped me lift it up. It was starting to leak fuel out of the other side, only because I just filled it up. So it was a full tank starting to leak, so we lifted it up. Wasn't leaking anymore, so after some time passes, I'm starting to look at it, and I just, looking at the SUV that impacted the other car next to me, her whole front end is destroyed. I did take a few pictures off my cell phone. Most of them I was shaking, so they're out of focus, but I will try to edit and put those in, so you can at least see the other vehicles. But I'm looking at this, and I could have sworn she just hit this. Her right front hit it, but there is not a scratch on her. So I'm thinking it's just my emergency braking getting me to lift my rear wheels off the ground and letting go. I think just the force of that. I don't think the SUV and I touched, because there's nothing. I mean, the severity of the wreck, and there's no scratches. It's amazing. So basically all it did was flip around and land on this side. So once again, I broke my foot peg. It broke off. I said, dang it, I just put on replacements, and I just ordered another set for backup. I was going to keep in my backpack. And then the next day, I wind up falling again and breaking it. So, and then once again, the Shogun brand frame sliders. Now this one's loose now, so it really took a beating. But the fairings are okay. So basically, the damage is this cracked, scratch there, little scratch there. This red piece I bought used off eBay, so that crack was already there. Little more scratches here. Once again, the frame slider took the grunt. And just a scratch there and a scratch there, which you really can't even see on the black. And I'm looking to find a red piece to match this anyway. But, I mean, it's shifted fine and everything. So anyhow, we get it up. I'm trying to, they're asking me if I could start it. You know, they're saying, you know, even if you're too much in shock, the firemen were saying, you know, we could push it over and keep it in our garage overnight. And I could either ride it home or get it towed the next day. So I'm trying to start it. I turn the key on, you know, turn it back on. Because I told one of the guys to turn the kill switch off to turn off the fuel pump. So I tried to start it, and it wasn't starting, but it was all electrical. So I tried it a couple times, waited a few minutes. And I thought, well, wait a minute, let me try in neutral. And the police officer who asked me the details of what happened, and I told him I was in second gear coasting. So when I tried to do it again in neutral, I said, hold on, let me down, you know, see what gear I'm in. I clicked it down once, went right into neutral, started right up. I told the officer, I said, hey, I told you I was in second gear. It's first gear, neutral, second gear, third and up. So accident, shut it off in second gear, downshifted once. So, but look at that. There is no, I mean, the mirrors didn't, no cracks on the instrument panel, this stupid little wind deflector. Headlights are intact. So other than, you know, just minor little fairings, I mean, this was an accident that should have killed me. But then riding home, so after a while it calmed down a bit. So I started riding home, and my parents are behind me. I did notice that this lever, the clutch lever, felt like I thought maybe it got bent in some. So that's the way it felt. And then so Sunday morning I'm looking at it again. And I'm starting to look at it, and I don't know if you can really see it, but see how right where my fingertip is, there's just no gap. But here you can see a gap. So I think the force of it landing, because you can see this end piece is loose and good road abrasion there, I think this got bent in maybe a few degrees, just enough that it's hitting where it shouldn't be. So I think that's the only damage, so I'm going to wait a few more days because my neck is really, really sore all over. So the paramedics and fire team and EMTs told my parents, since they're visiting me for 2 weeks, to just keep an eye out. You know, every little complaint or pain I'm supposed to tell them. And there's, you know, if I act funny or weird, you know, rush me to a hospital in case I have a concussion or something. But due to this, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I felt my head hit the ground, and I thought, you know, that was just the first thought in my head was, if I wasn't wearing my helmet, I think that would have killed me. Every single witness, and one of them was a medical doctor, all said that was a fatal blow, that I should be dead. Even with the helmet, I should have injuries. But other than a hangover type dry headache, and my neck muscles are a little sore. You know, I did another video on all the gear I was wearing and what saved me, including the helmet right there, saved my life. So I do have another helmet, but I just don't feel like riding right now. So anyhow, in a few days, I'll have my dad follow me over to the Yamaha store. We'll get this estimate. I think they should be able to take this part off and put on a new arm and check everything out. So they'll check everything out, make sure it's, you know, no more accident damage. And She's about 40 miles away from turning 10,000 anyway, so I was going to bring it in for a 10,000 mile checkup. You know, have them check the cam chain because I'm starting to get a little clicking out of it. You know, make sure my main drive chain's good. So I'm going to bring it in, have them do a checkup, place this arm. Like I said, I've already got the foot pegs on order. I'm just going to go ahead and order another set and go ahead and get another pair of Shogun sliders because once again this saved me, or saved the bike from damage. And who knows, if this little few inches wasn't there, I wonder if it could really have damaged my foot and leg even more, because it would have been the full force of the bike instead of this part holding the ground and my foot being down here. So a head-on collision with a drunk driver while riding a motorcycle and surviving. I could scratch that one off the bucket list. Not really my idea of fun, but I'm not giving up biking. I'm not going to give up vlogging, and just give me a week or so to get back on a bike, and if I can find another model helmet like that, then I can get a camera set up in it. But so the bike and I are fine. Just a little headache, both a little sore, some scratches. Remember to look both ways, including oncoming traffic when going through an intersection, and always wear your gear. Later.